Hi, beautiful souls. I'm back. It's Shimmery from the Advanced Lightworkers discussion group, and this video is going to explain to you basically how healing works. So the whole concept of our mind is still in God, and our soul is still in God, and our body is here separate, and all of that kind of stuff, and it comes cool, complete with a really cool little diagram, and it doesn't look like much, but this is a real work of art because the whole thing is actually mirrored. Because when I first came along with my diagram to record this, I discovered that the video mirrors it. So it was quite interesting. So anyway, so we've all spoken about the concept that we're part of all that is, okay? And basically the way that it works is that ego is the mechanism of creation. So ego is the little mechanism that enables us to take this one huge soul called all that is and divide it into little pieces called souls. All right? So there's the ego barrier. Okay? Now, what happens is that you then become this individuated identity or a soul, and you go into a dream state. And you have a thought projection that then becomes your body, and the combination of all of our thought projections becomes the morphic field and creates the reality that we live in. Okay, so this is how healing works. So, your ego, when we talk about ego mitigation and taking away layers of ego, basically what we're saying is that your little piece of soul is moving closer and closer and closer to the piece of soul that hasn't been broken up into smaller pieces that we could know of collectively as God. So all of us together is all that is. The pieces that haven't been broken into individual souls is God. And then there's lots and lots of individual souls, but we're all actually here. And those of us that are souls are in a dream state. We are dreaming this and thinking it's reality. Okay? Now, as you move closer and closer and closer to God, the barrier that separates your piece of soul from the rest of all that is, or God, becomes thinner, or it starts having more holes. So I kind of think of it like if you've got a bucket of water and you push a whole bunch of pipes into that bucket, some of the pipes will be completely solid. Other pipes may be made of mesh and they allow more free flow through. But that barrier and the thickness of that barrier is your ego. So every time you're feeling shame, doubt, humiliation, embarrassment, anger, resistance, fear, envy, possessiveness, competition, anything like that, that's making that barrier stronger. And it means that the rest of soul of all that is can't freely move around in your soul. So for these people who are mitigating ego and moving closer and closer to God, their barriers are almost more holes than it is barrier, actually. So maybe they've got like a thin cobweb that just slightly defines the edge of their identity, and that's all that's keeping them in place in this dream state reality that we call reality or creation or life. All right? And the bigger your holes are, the more the Holy Spirit can move in and around your soul. So when you've got bigger holes, it can take bigger chunks of stuff away. That's why somebody who has mitigated more ego is able to have bigger shifts and bigger releases, and they're able to release more things in one go, because the barrier that prevents the Holy Spirit from doing the work is actually so much thinner. Now, when you're at the beginning stages of your spiritual and ego battle journey and you have to go to practitioners for help, effectively what happens is you always have conscious control of this piece of ego, this ego barrier of yours, okay? You always actually have conscious control of it. And when you come to somebody like me for coaching, or you go to somebody like Irene for body talk, or you go to a shaman like Jonathan and you have healing work done on you, effectively what you do is you give us your trust. And you lower your barrier for us to allow us to do the work. Okay? What we do is we're kind of like the red pill in the Matrix, all right? So when Neo took the red pill, it scrambled his signal, and through the scrambling of that signal, they were then able to identify where his body was located in the real world. So you come along and you meet with us, and agreeing to the session is like taking the red pill. And that allows us to scramble your signal so that you drop your barrier and the Holy Spirit can find your piece of soul, and it can go in and move around in your soul and create the healing that you need in that moment. So every single time you have healing, even if it's just a headache feeling better, that is a miracle that has been worked in your life. If you've been to a coach and you felt relief after the conversation, or you've been for body talk or resonance repatterning or to a shaman, that healing that took place was you lowering your barrier so that the Holy Spirit could enter your piece of soul and enable a miracle in your life. What's also important to know there is that there is no order of difficulty in miracles. So if you've allowed that, you can allow any other kind of healing. What is going to differentiate it is that at this point in your journey, you are going to trust the healer to do this for you more than what you're going to trust yourself. As you mitigate more and more of your ego and you move closer and closer to the part of soul that is God, then you will be able to drop that barrier yourself at will when you choose. And therefore you will be able to facilitate your own healing. Personally, at my level of the ego journey, I'm working towards a point now where I am recognizing that there is no barrier that lies between me and the Holy Spirit at all. Okay, which is a very difficult balancing act because ego is the thing that keeps us here. So one of the things I've seen with advanced journeyers is that we have one or two weird little issues. A lot of us smoke, and that keeps us very grounded, and that gives us a piece of ego that we can attach to, and it would be a handy one because it's something that we can choose to give up if it's called on in a specific moment. We can choose that immediately. And at my level, I'm working with concepts like when I pray, I'm automatically acknowledging that I'm separate from God. So I have to keep the communication open all the time and acknowledge that my mind is always only holding what I think with God, which is, it's quite a difficult balancing act. And using, even at this stage, words like I and me become a reminder for me of the separation from the Holy Spirit and from God. So at this level, a lot of what you're dealing with is where we refer to the sob stories. It's an example of the pattern or an example of the issue. The issue is your dad was abusive and controlling. When you go to the level of telling me that he always made you do this before he would give you money, and then he would insult you and run you down, and you need to go into the examples of how he insulted you and ran you down, you are working with examples of ego. Okay, when you're getting to this point over here, you start climbing straight directly into the stuff. So I will acknowledge I have a fear, and that fear is this, and I will name the fear, and I will ask the Holy Spirit to help me release it. So this is what it looks like. I hope this little diagram managed to clarify it for you, and I hope it managed to put it into a bit of a coherent thing. As always, please feel free to post comments and questions below in the video and on the Advanced Lightworkers discussion group, and if we need to do another video, I can do that. Thank you for your time. I hope you gained from this. Unicorns out. Can't wait to see you in the group.